Good morning, everybody. Caleb here. I'm going to show you how I use OilStones. First, we're going to dull this gold dollar. This is a ceramic or white milk glass, rather. I'm sure you can figure out what it is. Quite dull. Sharp-ish, but not nowhere near shave ready. I don't know if you can see the light reflecting on it. I ain't got time to show you. Alright, here's what I do. Since I just really muffed that up, I'm going to take this fine India and just put a bit of oil on it. I'm sure some of you are even right now screaming in your hair. Who cares? This is somewhat of a smiling blade. Starting at my heel, I'm going to do a rolling X stroke to ensure even coverage, heel to toe, as I take out that old damage. I'm sure some of you can't stand the fact that I'm hand honing this. Tough beans. Just like that, heel to toe. Cut out the old damage, bring new steel up. You want to make sure that you absolutely do not leave any of that old damaged steel in there. I don't like to hone in front of cameras because it's a pain in the neck. You have to keep everything in frame. Do a few heel leading strokes there. Check it. See if there's any damage left. Let me lift it up here by the light. Almost there. Just a little bit more oil on the stone. You can even do circles if you're wanting to cut down on time. I'm not using much pressure here. This cuts fast. I'm going heel to toe with a gentle following the angle of the spine. Just like that. Picking up some swarf. Heel to toe, watching the oil. That's very important. Some folks say watch the water on your water stone. Well, do the same thing with your oil stones. Watch for the edge to start undercutting the oil. Okay, that's very, very, very toothy, sharp. Wipe it clean. Put it down for a second. Get the swarf off my oil stone there. Set it aside. Got a soft, what I call a marbled soft. Put some oil on it. Just like that. lay it on, and I do rocking X strokes on this particular type of blade, just like that, light pressure. I'm just looking to remove the India stones marks, just like that, heel to toe, a rolling X stroke. I'm sure some people are going to freak out about this. I don't care. Just remember one thing with hard oil stones, or any stone really, one of those misnomers that you can get away with raising your spine a little bit on water stones. Allow me to laugh in your face, you joker. Dr. Matt has a couple of good videos on what I would call a straight edge razor, and that works. But on a smiling razor, if you're laying it on the stone like this, and if you're not doing an X stroke, you're not hitting the full edge. If you do that, the heel and the toe, one or the other, is going to be a little higher. I know. People say that that's not so. Well, people are full of crap. And look at how fast that soft is cutting. See that swarf? No, probably can't. Well, you'll have to take my word for it. I have a very unorthodox honing style. I'm self-taught. I have used Arkansas stones for better than 23 years. Probably closer to 25. I'm 33. I started out, I got my first oil stone. It was a true hard, if I remember right, followed by a couple of Washita's. And what I'm doing here, folks, is I am watching the swarf. That time and experience with this particular type of stone will tell you when you start to get rid of the India stone scratch patterns. The feel on this arc goes from not really gritty, but textured, to kind of a glass feel. It's like it breaks free, okay? You put that down for a second. Clean off the edge. As you can see, swarf, metal shavings from the edge and spine. I don't use tape because I don't believe in it, but that's my personal opinion. What I'm checking for now are what I call the gray lines, which would indicate that there are still some India stone scratches. And I want to clean my stone, reapply a little oil. I use a goldenrod oil applicator, metal container, made in Nebraska. I like American-made products, but of course, as you can see, I like to incorporate heel to toe. What you're hearing when I'm like this is part of this gold dollar stabilizer once in a while bumping it. That's not the edge, so don't freak out. And even if it were, it's not your razor, so bug off. You might notice I don't have much of a patience for internet know-how. You might have also noticed I go from half strokes, heel leading, to just like that. And that's a personal preference, and I don't know if it actually helps. I just like to craft the edge that way. And it is a craft. It's not a, well, for me it's not a science, it's art. That's my philosophy, and that's how I look at it. If that bothers you, well, allow me to say I really don't care. Alright, blending strokes. I'm sure there are people who are faster than me, and when I'm not on camera and I don't have to continually try to make sure that my hand isn't moving out of focus, I'm much smoother than I am now. I like to use flannel cloth, by the way. It doesn't leave little particles on the stone like rough cloth does. I'm feeling for that tacky, sticky sensation on my 3-finger and thumb pad. Alright, we're going to move along. Let me flush my stone, just like that. Rub the oil in, get your cloth, it'll bring the swarf up. You can pat it. Patting it works better, but old habit, I just rub it off, just like that. I know, whatever. Put that one aside. Pick up my surgical black. Wipe it down. This is the important part. You're going to want to use your hand, a clean hand. This is your final step. This is your final stone whenever it comes to oil stone. Well, for me. Make sure that if you laid it on something, that the surface is free of defects. Give it a little touch of oil. Cover the surface thoroughly. Just like that. Try not to get oil on everything. I like to start off with little quarter strokes or whatever to get a feel for the stone and how the edge is mating to it. And I'll do 25 rolling X strokes like this. May throw in a little of that if I feel a spot that needs a little work. It's an art, not a science. Some people say it's a science, not an art. Well, maybe we're both wrong. And maybe I'm right. Who knows? I like to hand hold my stone. I like to put a decent amount of pressure. Just like that. Rolling X stroke. Little circles to blend the scratches even better. Keeping pressure on the spine and edge. Not a lot of pressure. Just keeping contact. That's it. That's all I'm doing. Don't freak out. Not flexing the edge. That's one of the reasons I like to hand hold my stones. That's why 6-7 inch stone like this, 6-inch stones on this particular model are my favorite. A broken in surgical black or translucent or true hard at this point isn't going to make a lot of swarf. Can you hear that singing? That whoosh, 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 whoosh. As the edge is blended, that whisper, or what I like to call honing song on a surgical black, will pick up clarity. I know out there's somebody screaming and banging their head on the table. How can you go by sound and feel? Well, as you can see, I use I slide my wrist every once in a while. I call it a blending stroke. I don't know what you'd call it. I'm sure some of you'd say, he's nuts, he's ruining that razor. Well, I have some piece of advice for you. Go find a really short pier and take a long jump off of it. And on the way down, tie a 1/4 inch rope around your neck and make sure you tie that off around the piling. Make sure there's a loud snap when you hit the end. I really don't care what you think. A lot of these so-called hone meisters couldn't hone their way into a paper bag, much less out of one. I think everybody should know how to at least maintain their razors And I am not at all of the persuasion that you should start off with a finisher. I think you need to get a couple of gold dollars or eBay specials that are in fair shape and learn how to set bevels. Everything else is polishing. Everything. And refinement. You polish. You might notice I'm rocking up on the end just after I stop. That's to clear my edge from this hard stone. Very unforgiving. Very. I'm watching my oil, and it's starting to be undercut quite nicely. About time to check it. See where we're at. This video is already 16 and a half minutes long. What I'm feeling for is the sensation of it being really sticky. And I'm also checking for something like that. I know that was unhygienic. Go back for some more light rolling X strokes, blending strokes. Finish this bevel up. I'll be shaving with this razor tomorrow. And it will pick up its performance after a light stropping, 10 to 20 strokes on my homemade linen substitute. Alright. The real test is the shave test. If I hadn't mounted my camera on my stropping post, that's sharp. Give you a good look close up of that gold dollar and spine wear. I'm sure some of you are just wetting yourself out there. That's fine. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and cut this video off. Make it shorter. We're at 18 and 20 seconds, so thanks for watching. That's roughly how I do a light smiling blade. Thanks for watching. Peace out.